Namaste, Dandava Pranam. By the instruction and grace of our spiritual master on Vishnupad Paramahamsa, Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Mahārāja, we are here reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 4, The Creation of the Fourth Order, Chapter 22, Text 52. Griheshu vartamanopi sasamraja shrihanvita nasaja tendriyarteshu nirahamatir akravat. Maharaj Pṛthu, who was very opulent due to the prosperity of his entire empire, remained at home as a householder. Since he was never inclined to utilize his opulences for the gratification of his senses, he remained unattached, exactly like the sun, which is unaffected in all circumstances. Purport. The word griheshu is significant in this verse. Out of the 4 ashrams, the brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyas, only a grihastha or householder is allowed to associate with women. Therefore, the grihastha ashram is a kind of license for sense gratification given to the devotee. Pṛthu Maharaj was special in that although he was given license to remain a householder, and although he possessed imminent opulences in his kingdom, he never engaged in sense gratification. This was a special sign that indicated him to be a pure devotee of the Lord. A pure devotee is never attracted by sense gratification, and consequently he is liberated. In material life, a person engages in sense gratification for his own personal satisfaction, but in devotional service or liberated life, one aims to satisfy the senses of the Lord. In this verse, Maharaj Pṛthu is likened to the sun, Arkavat. Sometimes the sun shines on stool, urine, and so many other polluted things. But since the sun is all-powerful, it is never affected by the polluted things with which it associates. On the contrary, the sunshine sterilizes and purifies polluted and dirty places. Similarly, a devotee may engage in so many material activities, but because he has no desire for sense gratification, they never affect him. On the contrary, he dovetails all material activities for the service of the Lord. Since a pure devotee knows how to utilize everything for the Lord's service, he is never affected by material activities. Instead, by his transcendental plans, he purifies such activities. This is described in Bhakti Rasa Mrita Sindhu. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam. His aim is to become completely purified in the service of the Lord without being affected by material designations. Evam adhyatma yogena karmanyānusamacharan Putran utpadayam asa pancharisyatma samatan. Being situated in the liberated position of devotional service, Pṛthu Maharaj not only performed all fruitive activities, but also begot 5 sons by his wife, Archi. Indeed, all his sons were begotten according to his desire. Purport. As a householder, Pṛthu Maharaj had 5 sons by his wife, Archi, and all these sons were begotten as he desired them. They were not born whimsically or by accident. How one can beget children according to one's own desire is practically unknown in the present age, Kali Yuga. In this regard, the secret of success depends on the parents' acceptance of the various purificatory methods known as samskaras. The first samskara, the Garbhadana samskara, or child begetting samskara, is compulsory, especially for higher castes, the Brahmanas, and the Kshatriyas. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, sex life which is not against religious principles is Krishna himself, and according to religious principles, when one wants to beget a child, he must perform the Garbhadana Samskar before having sex. The mental state of the father and mother before sex will certainly affect the mentality of the child to be begotten. A child who is begotten out of lust may not turn out as the parents desire. As stated in the Shastras, Yata Yonir Yata Bijam. Yata Yonir indicates the mother and Yata Bijam indicates the father. If the mental state of the parents is prepared before they have sex, the child which they will beget will certainly reflect their mental condition. It is therefore understood by the words Atma Samatan that both Pṛthu Maharaj and Archie underwent the Garbhadana purificatory process before begetting children, and thus they begot all their sons according to the desires and purified mental states. Pṛthu Maharaj did not beget his children out of lust, nor was he attracted to his wife for sense gratificatory purposes. He begot the children as a grihasta for the future administration of his government all over the world. Text 54. Vijitasvam dumrakesham haryaksham dravinam vrikam sarvesham lokapalanam tadhar aika pratorgunam. After begetting 5 sons named Vijitasva, Dumrakesha, Haryaksha, Dravina, and Vrika, Pṛthu Maharaj continued to rule the planet. He accepted all the qualities of the deities who governed all other planets. Purport. In each and every planet, there is a predominating deity. It is understood from Bhagavad Gita that in the sun, there is a predominating deity named Vishvasan. Similarly, there is a predominating deity of the moon and of the various planets. Actually, the predominating deities in all the other planets are descendants from the predominating deities of the sun and moon. On this planet Earth, there are 2 Kshatriya dynasties, one coming from the predominating deity of the sun, and the other from the predominating deity of the moon. These dynasties are known as Surya Vamsa and Chandra Vamsa, respectively. When monarchy existed on this planet, the chief member was one of the members of the Surya dynasty or the Surya Vamsa, and the subordinate kings belonged to the Chandra Vamsa. However, Maharaj Pṛthu was so powerful that he could exhibit all the qualities of the predominating deities in other planets. In the modern age, people from Earth have tried to go to the moon, but they have not been able to find anyone there. What to speak of the meeting the moon's predominating deity? The Vedic literature, however, repeatedly informs us that the moon is full of highly elevated inhabitants who are counted amongst the demigods. We are therefore always in doubt about what kind of moon adventure the modern scientists of this planet Earth have undertaken. Text 55. Gopitaya jagatresta kalesve chutatmaka Manhovagvriti bisamyar gunhai samranjayan praja. Since Maharaj Pṛthu was a perfect devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he wanted to protect the Lord's creation by pleasing the various citizens according to their various desires. Therefore, Pṛthu Maharaj used to please them in all respects by his words, mentality, works, and gentle behavior. Purport. As will be explained in the next verse, Pṛthu Maharaj used to please all kinds of citizens by his extraordinary capacity to understand the mentality of others. Indeed, his dealings were so perfect that every one of the citizens was very much satisfied and lived in complete peace. The word Achyutatmaka is significant in this verse, for Maharaj Pṛthu used to rule this planet as the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He knew that he was the representative of the Lord, and that the Lord's creation must be protected intelligently. Atheists cannot understand the purpose behind the creation. Although this material world is condemned when it is compared to the spiritual world, there is still some purpose behind it. Modern scientists and philosophers cannot understand that purpose, nor do they believe in the existence of a creator. They try to establish everything by their so-called scientific research, but they do not center anything around the Supreme Creator. A devotee, however, can understand the purpose of creation, which is to give facilities to the individual living entity who want to lord it over material nature. The ruler of this planet should therefore know that all the inhabitants, especially human beings, have come to this material world for sense enjoyment. It is therefore the duty of the ruler to satisfy them in their sense enjoyment, as well as to elevate them to Krishna consciousness, so that they can all ultimately return home back to Godhead. With this idea in mind, the king or government head should rule the world. In this way, everyone will be satisfied. How can this be accomplished? There are many examples like Pṛthu Maharaj, and the history of his regency on this planet is elaborately described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Even in this fallen age, if the rulers, governors, and presidents take advantage of Pṛthu Maharaj's example, there will be a reign of peace and prosperity throughout the world. Text 56. Rajetyadhan namadheyam Somāraja ibhapara Suryavad vishrajan grinan Pratapams cha bhuvo vasu. Maharaj Pṛthu became as celebrated a king as Somāraja, the king of the moon. He was also powerful and exacting, just like the sun god, who distributes heat and light and at the same time exacts all the planetary waters. Purport. In this verse, Maharaj Pṛthu is compared to the kings of the moon and sun. The king of the moon and king of the sun serve as examples of how the Lord desires the universe to be ruled. The sun distributes heat and light and at the same time exacts water from all planets. The moon is very pleasing at night, and when one becomes fatigued after a day's labor in the sun, he can enjoy the moonshine. Like the sun god, Pṛthu Maharaj distributed his heat and light to give protection to his kingdom. For without heat and light, no one can exist. Similarly, Pṛthu Maharaj exacted taxes and gave such strong orders to the citizens and government that no one had the power to disobey him. On the other hand, he pleased everyone, just like the moonshine. Both the sun and moon have particular influences by which they maintain order in the universe. And the modern scientists and philosophers should become familiar with the Supreme Lord's perfect plan for universal maintenance. Thus ends our reading for today. We'll continue on text 57 on Friday. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev, Srila Shanta Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the worldwide devotees. Sama Bhaktivedanta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Nrsimhapali Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ju Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Giri Govardhan Gupta Govardhan Dham Ki Jai, Shyam Kund Radha Kund Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Vrinda Devi Ki Jai, Jai Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Jai Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Scientific Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Princeton Bhaktivedanta Institute Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Institute Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bol, Jai Shrimati Uma Devi Dasi Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Sripad Krishna के स्वभाव जी की जय।
Dhanyavad Stiri.
धन्यवाद प्रणाम प्रभु जी।
Hare Krishna. Have a nice day.